Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Rechtin with Retail Control Systems, and I am a Counterpoint consultant and trainer. So today we're going to talk about doing sales kits and bills of material in Counterpoint and how we can use those for various types of item grouping at the register and for bill of material for assembling products. And it's sort of a spring theme, like Ryan just said. So this is all of our demonstration topics are on spring and Easter themed items, but of course we can use it for anything. So we're going to talk about our three kinds of kits that we have. We have a sales kit or a tag-along kit. We have a group tag-along kit. We have a miscellaneous kit. And then we also will talk about bill of material and quick assembly, where we sort of do what I would call light manufacturing of products. So to begin, we will look at the simplest type of kit, which is called a tag-along kit. And the easiest way to show that to start is just to demo it and show you what it looks like at the register, and then we'll look at how we would set that up. So you can either enter the item number for what would be our parent item. So the parent item is, our base item, and then we set the items that we want to sell along with that parent or that base item. So instead of entering the item number here, I just set up a button for it. And so this is going to sell a vase of flowers, a bow that goes on it, and then prompt for a delivery charge. So when I hit this item here, in the background, you can see we've got the parent item, which is in bold. That's our spring floral arrangement. And then it is asking or prompting for me to enter the delivery charge. So when I do that, it's going to prompt, and I'll enter whatever my delivery charge is. And that's an open item. So, if we're delivering close, it might be $1 or it might be $50 if we're delivering far away. So here's our tag along. Our parent item was the spring floral arrangement, and then we have the tag along of the floral bow and the tag along of the delivery fee. So let me now show you how that's set up. I can find my main menu in Counterpoint. So if I go back here from the main menu in Counterpoint, that's under inventory and then sales kits. And so then we're going to find the kit that I've already got defined. Here, if we were setting up one from scratch, you can do a look up there to select your parent item. I'm just going to scroll through here and find the kits that are already set up in here. So we're not using that one or that one yet. Okay, so here's my tag along kit. So when I set that up, we have our parent item number, which is that spring floral arrangement. It is set up as a tag along item kit. So when we do a drop down here, we have choices of tag along or group tag along or miscellaneous. A checkbox here as to whether or not we want to include that parent item on our sales transaction. So here we have the option for a sales kit of having the parent item be any kind of an item in Counterpoint. So it can be an inventory item, it could be gridded, serialized, whatever, miscellaneous item or a non-inventory item, service item, anything that you want can be the parent item number here. So you may or may not want to include that parent on the sales transaction. And I don't know if you noticed in the on the register in the tag along, each item carries its own price along with it in a tag along kit. So we'll talk about how we can group pricing later, but in a tag along kit, each item carries its own pricing through to the sales transaction. So here we have our parent item, like I said, and down below here, we select the items that we want to be in the tag along kit. So our first item here is the bow. Again, it can be any kind of an item in Counterpoint. And then we define the quantity of each tag along item that we want to be sold with that parent item and what unit it is. So we can use alternate units of measure here as well. And then also the quantity method. So we want it to sell one of these, I said quantity one, for each of the parent item. Or let's say, for example, we wanted two of this to be sold along with the parent item. Well, then you could say you want it to be a fixed quantity, and you would put in a quantity of two. And then if you want a prompt display, like I did for delivery, you can enter a prompt for the item here. So if we go through our bill item, and then we get down here to the delivery fee, here we've got our item number for the fee. We want quantity of one, fixed. We want just this one fixed quantity for the entire sales transaction. And then down here is our prompt. So that's why when I entered that sales kit at the register, it automatically prompted for that delivery fee and brought up the item that had the open price item. So that's the very simple, what we call a sales kit or a tag along kit. So all of those items tag along with the parent. Again, the highlight things here are they can be any type of item for the parent, any type of item for the child items or the components. You can have a fixed quantity or, fixed quantity or the quantity of each component that you're selling of each parent. And then you have the option to put prompts on each component. So that's just our regular sales kit. Also, one thing to note, let me go back to my touch screen here. When I sell this item, see over here on the left, they're all indented to the left. And so when they print out on the sales receipt, they're all also going to print out on the sales receipt and look like they were all sold individually. And that's one of the differentiating factors between a regular sales kit and a group tag or a group sales kit, group tag along. So here's the receipt for that. And you can see here on the left, it's showing us what all of our components were as though they were sold as regular items. And again, the prices for each of those add up together. So these two items just happened. The bow had a $0 price at retail, and then our delivery fee has that $5 that I added in. So that is our tag along. Then if I go back to setting up our kits, we'll look at what a group tag along kit is. So a group tag along kit, again, our parent item can be any type of an item. And let's see here. Yeah. So here we set our parent item again. Here we've got that set as a group tag along. So all of the items are going to be grouped together underneath that parent item, both on the register screen and on our sales receipt. So in this case, the parent is a required component here on the transaction and on the printout. In the regular tag along sales kit, that parent, you can opt to not have that included in the kit. In this case, it has to be included. Here we've got all of these different items that are going to go into this group tag along kit. So in this case, I have a parent item that's called a blue Easter basket. And under that are all of the components that I'm going to put in that Easter basket when it's sold at the register. With this kind of a kit, all of these components stay as their own inventory items, and they keep their own quantity on hand, and they can all be sold as regular items as well, because they're just, again, tagging along with that parent item. So we haven't pulled them out of stock yet or anything like that. So, this basket that we're starting with, that we're putting in this blue basket kit, we might have 25 of those in stock, and we'll keep 25 of those in stock until we sell this one, and then we're going to have 24. So you could also sell this blue basket or this basket with a handle by itself on a sales transaction. So under the blue basket group tag along kit, group tag along, I'm going to sell this basket. I'm going to have a rabbit, a chocolate rabbit, jelly beans, basket filler, and basket wrap. So if the customer purchases this, they're going to get the entire Easter basket with all of the components. And here again, we're defining for each component what that item number is, what the quantity is that we want sold with this group tag-along kit. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the units. Normally you would just use the regular each unit, but I'm going to show you a little tip about something else once I show you at the register. Then whether or not this item is required in the kit. So if it's not required, then it can pop up and ask if you want to have this item be a component of the kit. So let's say, for example, one of these items is optional, and we will see that in the demo. The basket wrap supply option is optional. Maybe somebody wants the basket, they don't want the cellophane and everything on the outside. So in that case, that particular component is optional, and the cashier will have the option at the end to take that off. In this case, it will not affect the price of the item of the kit if we do that. So that's our setup of the group tag-along item, or the group tag-along kit. And then if we go back to the touch screen and look at how we're going to sell that, I'll enter in that item number of the parent. And so here you can see we've got our parent item that's in bold, got our price of the parent item in the background, and then here's our prompt if they don't want the wrap. So let's say I said that there, yes, that I wanted it, but I'll show you in a minute if we don't want it. So here it shows you the basket and then all of the components underneath it. So in this case, I wanted the Easter basket blue parent item to carry the price. So in order to make that happen with each item, I set up an alternate unit of kit with a 0 price. And so that way for each of these items, it's coming into this kit, but it's not carrying any price with it. So the parent item price follows. I could have done exactly the opposite, and I could have made this Easter basket blue parent item have a 0 price, and then I could have brought in the price of each of those component items into this kit. And then the price for the kit would be the total of all the component items. If you do both, if you had a price on the parent and you allowed all the prices of the components to come in, then the price of this basket would be like $70 or something, because then it would be adding everything together. So just to show you here a couple other things, if I do this again and I say I do not want the wrap, then I saw that same tag-along kit and the basket wrap supplies is left off. Notice it did not change the price because I have the price going along with the parent item. Also note here on the screen, we've got our parent item in bold, and then all of the grouped tag-along items are indented below it. So that shows that those are all components of that initial parent item, whereas on the regular tag-along kit, they were all like left justified, and so they all look as individual items. So when I go to pay for this and we look at the receipt, here you can see I've got my parent item out here to the left, and then all of my component items listed down below. Any of these items that happen to be a gridded item, where I could pick a grid cell to go along with it, are going to show a quantity on the receipt for some reason. So some of the items that were within this kit, when I defined the kit, were gridded items. And because this particular kit was for a blue basket, I chose gridded items that were the color of blue. So that's what would be sold to go along with this group tag-along kit. So then just to show you that item and how we set up those different units to sell at 0. So for example, here is the basket. that was in that blue basket kit, and our normal selling price for that basket is $12. So if that went through the register as normal, it would be a $12 charge for that. If we go to the unit tab, I set up an alternate unit called kit, and I made the conversion 1 kit equals 1 each, because our stocking unit of this is an each. And then we have the alternate price of 0 on here. So if I were to tell that that kit definition that I wanted to use the each stocking unit, it would go through with a price of 12. But I said I wanted to use the kit unit, and so it adds to that kit with a price of 0. So that's just another little tip. You can do that on touchscreen and in a variety of areas, use that for different things. Also in a group tag along kit, you can have return lines within it. So let's say you had a kit that maybe included a trade-in. So your trade-in item could be a return line item on that tag along kit that would take money off of the kit price. You cannot modify the components, and in the sales transaction, you cannot modify the components of the group tag along kit. So you cannot take components off of that once they've hit the ticket and they're on the screen. You can't go in and remove items. If it's a regular tag along kit, you can. You can go back in there and you can take items off of that sales transaction. So our next kind of a kit is a miscellaneous kit. So the miscellaneous kit, whoops, wrong kit. Probably easier to do it this way. So I have a miscellaneous kit here, and it is the Peter Rabbit gardening bundle. So this is for a child's gardening kit that we're selling. And in this case, for a miscellaneous kit, the parent item is always a non-inventory item. So in this case, you can either put the pricing with the parent, even though it's a non-inventory item, or the pricing with the components. In this case, I would suggest the pricing with the components because your costing and your margin is going to be figured on the components in this case. So the parent for a miscellaneous kit will always show on the receipt. And here we'll go through again. We've picked our parent, which is our non-inventory item, miscellaneous non-inventory item, and it's called the Peter Rabbit Gardening Bundle. So that's defining it right up front that we have the bundle here. So within this, we have a plush Peter Rabbit, and we have a packet of seeds, and we have a shovel, and we have some gardening gloves. And the gardening gloves happen to be a gridded item where we have a small, medium, and large. So when we sell this, it's going to prompt for what size of that product is going in the kit. So then when we're adding all of these items to our miscellaneous kit, down here at the bottom, we've got what is our item number. It's going to bring up our description. Again, what quantity of that do we want to go into this kit? What unit do we want to use? And then because it's a gridded item, it made us pick a default grid cell, but we can substitute down here at the bottom, we can substitute with other grid cells. And if we substitute, we can define other substitutions. So if we were to define substitutions that had a different price than the original item in the kit, do we want to adjust the price of the kit for that? So in this case, the price of the kit in total is with the gardening bundle item. And then sort of underneath, we're still selling everything kind of at its price one. So I'll show you how that works when we see it at the register. So now if we go into touchscreen, here I've got a button set up for my gardening bundle, my Peter Rabbit bundle. So when we sell that, again, we've got our parent item in the background and it has the price along with it, $25.99. Now it's asking what size glove are we selling with this particular bundle. And so now it's added all of the components to this kit. So on the screen here, we are seeing our bundle price at $25.99, and then all of our individual unit prices, which is the price one for each item. It's showing all this on the screen, but notice down here in the total, it's only charging the parent item bundle price. And then when we print our receipt, all of these items, prices are going to be hidden. So if I show you the receipt here, we'll cash this out. So here we've got our parent item for $25.99, all of our component items down below with the price hidden, even though we were seeing that on our touchscreen. And so that's a miscellaneous kit. And again, for all those 3 kits, all the components are staying in inventory as each is until we actually sell that kit. So those are the 3 types of kits, and now we'll move on to bill of material. And quick assembly. So bills of material allow us to do sort of manufacturing of products. So here we have a kit for a pink Easter basket. So we're going to, let's see. Our bill of material we define in advance. And so our bill of material is sort of the recipe for everything that is going to be in this finished product. So with bill of material and quick assembly, we are taking items that are in inventory as individual items, and we are then, with this process of quick assembly, behind the scenes, it's adjusting out all of the individual components and taking the cost that goes along with all those components, adjusting all of that into the finished product item, and we end up with a finished product with the price of the retail price of the parent item, and then the cost taken from all of the components in that item and adjusted into that finished product item. So here is sort of our recipe for this Easter basket, pink Easter basket kit that we're going to make. So we're starting out with, again, our parent item. Here and also in this case, for a bill of material, our parent item has to be an inventory item because we're going to be moving these finished products into that finished item. So we've got here all of our components again, our basket, our rabbit, all of the different pieces that go in there. And in this case, I've even included labor. So you can see all of the costs that go along with all the products that are going in that basket. So for each one, we define what item it is, again, what quantity we want to go in the bill of material. When they're being assembled, can the person doing the assembly change the quantity of this particular item? So if they did change that quantity, it would not change the price of the finished product, but it could change the cost. And then if it's a gridded item, what cell do we want? And can they change grid cells if we don't have enough in stock? And then if any of these items are not in stock or we don't have enough product to create all of these different kits, can we do substitute items? So then we have the option down below to define what our substitute items would be that would be allowed to be put in this assembly instead. So that way, if someone were to go in and they were to assemble or manufacture 20 of these baskets, and maybe we only have 10 chocolate bunnies, well, we could then define a substitute, and then the person who's assembling them would have the option to select another item that could be put in place instead of that chocolate bunny. So that's our bill of material there. We can define that ahead of time, and then those are changeable along the way. So you can at any point say, I don't want to put a chocolate rabbit in there, I want a white chocolate rabbit. You can change the recipe at any point. So then to manufacture or assemble those, we go to inventory quick assemblies. And we go into the assembly enter option. Here we're going to tell it how many of that we want to assemble. So we pick our item number. Here's our Easter basket pink. It wants to know what location we're assembling these into. So maybe we're doing this in the warehouse, but we're going to assemble them into the main location. So you select your location, the date, how many we're going to make of this, and then it's showing us down below what all of our components are for that product. So in that case, I would go ahead and just post. Oh, and also, by the way, you can change the location the components are coming from as well as where you're assembling into. So here we want to post. So as soon as I post, it's taking all of the quantities, or all of the quantity of 5 out of each of the items that are going to be in that basket. So we no longer have those 5 in the individual items. But it's going to put 5 on hand of this finished 100020 Easter basket pink. And when they go through the register, at the register, we're going to be selling just that Easter basket pink. So again, to show us at the register what that looks like. Here we'll just sell our item, our assembled item. So here you see we're not seeing any components because that's all been assembled into this finished product. And you can assemble those, at any point, do it as many times as you want every day, once a week, whatever makes sense. And then, like I said, you can substitute components. So one place we see this fairly often is like in a garden center. They may be making lots of different flower arrangements or potted arrangements or that sort of thing. And so they will change the components that they're putting into those finished products as they go. So you do have some flexibility in that. And we're running out of time, so I'm not going to go through reporting, but I will note that there are several reports that are available in the system. We've got sales history reporting. Depending on the type of kit and the type of components, you're going to get different reporting in different places, either by the individual unit or by the kit. So there is a sales history report about kits, and then there are 4 different inventory reports that talk about our inventory, like where we've used the products and all of our bill of material definition and different things like that. So we'll be providing a slide deck after this and a recording of this, and I'll make sure that that list of reports is shown in there. So that's everything about kits and bills of materials.
Thanks, Karen.
Do we have questions?
Lots of great information there. Anyone that missed the intro, if you have any questions, please feel free to fill them out in the chat or in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. We do have one question from Ariel. She would like to know, can you create kits with non-inventory items?
Non-inventory items within the kit, yes. Yes. And then a miscellaneous kit, you have to use a non-inventory item as the parent. And for a tag-along and a group tag-along kit, you can use either a non-inventory item or an inventory item as the parent. But a non-inventory can be a component in anything. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.